And there are now hundreds of federal agents and National Guard soldiers patrolling the streets of Washington, D.C. It's led to reported tensions in some local neighborhoods there. Federal authorities have set up checkpoints in some areas, which is not uncommon in the district. One of them was a large checkpoint with dozens of officers and agents on a highway leading out of the city. So, what is legal? What may be pushing the limits of the law? With me now to discuss is former U.S. Attorney Shane Wu. Let's start with the checkpoints, legal basis for those. What's necessary, even?
The legal basis for those, Victor, is seems to be lacking here. I mean, they are commonly used in certain very limited situations. Let's say you're actually at a border, which we're obviously not in DC. Certain areas like airports, for examples. We're probably most familiar with kind of the drunk driving checkpoints, New Year's Eve, something like that. They'll have sort of random stops of people to see if they might be drunk or not. This is wholly inapplicable to the standard or the lack thereof being used right now, which really appears to be just part of an immigration hunting season going on right now. Their only reason for these checkpoints appears to be sort of pretextual to look for potential illegal migrants. And that really is not the way it's normally done. And having prosecuted in DC, that's the office I grew up in as a baby prosecutor, did everything from street crime, shoplifting, sex crimes, corruption. It's a unique place where the trust of the community is really important because that office prosecutes street crimes as well as more traditional federal crimes. And having this type of a system with checkpoints, I think that's really hurting the relationship to the community.
Yeah, it's important that you point out that, in your opinion, this is just for undocumented immigrants. CNN analysis of recent government data shows that since August 7th, federal agents arrested 300 people who do not have legal immigration status, more than tenfold increase over the typical ICE arrest numbers for DC. So that's an important detail there. Let me ask you about a change that people in the district are waking up to. The defense secretary has authorized National Guard members who are patrolling now to carry their service weapons. Up to this point in the deployment, they were not armed. What's the significance? And also remind everyone of what they are authorized to do versus what they legally are not authorized to do.
So generally, the National Guard, you treat them as the military being called out, and the Posse Comitatus Act prevents the U.S. military from being used in domestic law enforcement. That's the legal standard. On top of the legal standard, there's the fact that trained military people, as well trained and well intentioned as they may be, are not trained to do civilian police enforcement. That's not their training, that's not their job. So having them carry arms is both a very poor, again, visual message to the community, but also it's not what they normally do, trying to enforce street crime and such. And it adds an element of recklessness and danger to it. I thought, the piece just before this, Marshall's great reporting about the National Guard coming from other states, some of them with worse crime problems in DC. Really great point there, which is they're not using the National Guard there to address the crime problems. If their crime rates are going down, it's because of their police forces that are doing the work, not National Guardsmen.
Yeah. And in Memphis, the violent crime rate 2.5 times what it is in the district. Speaking of the military and things they typically do not do, The Hill is reporting that JAG officers, military attorneys, could start working as special federal prosecutors in the office of the U.S. District Attorney uh, Janine Pirro. This is not a done deal, so I should say that. But they would prosecute civilian cases. What's the significance? I've never heard of this. Is it unprecedented? Is it rare? What do we need to know?
Um, it's a different system, so they wouldn't be skilled and experienced at prosecuting civilian cases. They would need to be trained. Uh, that's not unprecedented in that, again, very unique U.S. Attorney's Office. There are a lot of people on detail from other agencies, and sometimes there would be JAG Corps officers coming on detail, but they're being used and in very specific instances, and they're trained generally before they can start to do these kinds of street crimes. It probably reflects both a performative aspect. We really Trump administration loves to use the military to do everything, but also there may be genuine shortages going on in the office. It's reported that there's a lot of obviously firings as well as resignations have gone on, and the office may be rather shorthanded at the moment as well. I think having them come in to do it may reflect that problem with it, but it also reflects some priority issues with the office. I mean, the idea they're not going to prosecute certain types of gun crimes now at the same time while they're claiming they're going to be more serious about prosecuting all crimes seems like a kind of a hypocritical stance to take, and not a very effective one either. It ultimately, again, hurts the safety of the community.
Yeah. Shane Wu, thank you.
Sure thing.
All right, still ahead, investors showed some renewed optimism after a speech by the Federal Reserve Chairman. What he said, they got everybody so excited when we come back.